so today we'll be starting off with a new chapter which is called genetic control, right? So the first heading in this chapter is DNA replication. Now, what DNA replication is that it is a biological process producing two identical replicas of the DNA, which is present in the nucleus from one original parental DNA. So there is one parental DNA which creates two identical parental DNA replicas known as two daughter cells. Thus, two daughter cells get the exact same copy of the original DNA as that of the parent cell. This is called DNA replication, and we'll study how that's done. So, this is the mechanism of DNA replication. It's well understood by a diagram, so that I've given below. First, we'll have a look at the diagram and then we'll go. So, this is the entire process of DNA replication, and I'll show you how it's done. So, first it says DNA helicase enzyme starts up at one end, moving to the other and unwinding, unzipping the helical DNA structure, breaking the hydrogen bonds between complementary bases. This is the first part, right? So DNA helicase, this is something to be focused on. DNA helicase, this is an enzyme which starts up from one end. It's like a zip, right? So the zip, and this enzyme starts at one end, it breaks these bonds, so this enzyme is called DNA helicase. It's not breaking, however, it's unwinding and unzipping the DNA structure. So it's like, this is the DNA structure, right? So it just starts off here and then it unzips and creates two strands, right? So I'll show you right here where DNA helicase is. This right here is DNA helicase. It moves from here, so it unwinds and unzips the helical structure of the DNA, and as we can see, two free templates are produced right here. They're unwinded and unzipped, right? So they break the hydrogen bonds. So then it moves on to say how it breaks the hydrogen bonds between the complementary bases. So what the complementary bases are, we'll study that later on, but I'll just mention it right here. It's adenine and thymine and guanine and cytosine. So between guanine and cytosine there is three hydrogen bonds that these three lines signify, and between adenine and thymine there's just two hydrogen bonds which these lines signify. So if we see in the diagram right here, these the yellow one can match with the green one, the orange one with the blue one, and all of these were joined by hydrogen bonds, and these are complementary bases of each other. However, these were broken, the hydrogen bonds were broken in between, and they were as free templates, right? Thus, as mentioned, after breaking the complementary bases, it results in the formation of two free templates, as I mentioned, with exposed nitrogenous bases. So these complementary bases that I said, these are set bases, right? Adenine and thymine, guanine and cytosine. These are set bases complementary to each other. When the hydrogen bonds between them are broken, they're exposed as free templates, and these are the nitrogenous bases, right? So this is what it signifies. This was the first step of how DNA helicase unzips and unwinds. The enzyme, being an enzyme, it unzips and unwinds this helical DNA structure, and breaks the hydrogen bonds between the complementary bases, exposing two free templates with nitrogenous bases. Exposed nitrogenous bases right here, exposed and free nitrogenous bases. This was the first step of DNA replication. Then comes the second step. In the second step, it says that DNA helicase is followed by DNA polymerase. Now, DNA polymerase is another enzyme, as the name suggests, and DNA polymerase is right here. This is DNA polymerase, this is DNA polymerase, right? So it's followed by DNA polymerase that joins the free nucleotides with the complementary bases to the nitrogenous bases of both templates through hydrogen bonds. So what this means, I know it's a bit confusing, I'll just explain. So these free nucleotides, So what free nucleotides are these guys right here, these guys. And wait, let me give me an example. So right here, this, for example, if this is DNA polymerase, these right here, the ones freely exposed, are free nucleotides. So these free nucleotides are joined to the free template strand with the complementary bases. So for example, there is a free nucleotide of guanine, right? It will be joined to the complementary base in the free template to cytosine, right? So this guanine will come and bind to cytosine with 3 hydrogen bonds. So this is what DNA polymerase does. It joins those free nucleotides, as I mentioned. Those are freely moving to the complementary bases, with complementary bases to the nitrogenous bases of both templates. So these templates I showed you right here, these are the templates. These, the ones that were broken by DNA helicase, these are free templates. And these free nucleotides, these right here, these free nucleotides are joined with hydrogen bonds to the complementary ones on the template, right? Thus, so it continues on to say, after these nucleotides are joined together, they're joined in a chain. So as we can see, these free nucleotides are joined with the free template with the complementary base pairs, obviously, and then they're joined in a chain. So this chain starts up again, and a DNA starts to form its shape again. So they're joined in a chain through phosphodiester linkages. Phosphodiester linkages. This is an important term used in this chapter. And these complementary chains of both the original templates are formed, right? So two identical DNAs are formed. So just like this, DNA polymerase, what DNA polymerase does, I'll just repeat once again, is that it joins these free nucleotides that we can see right here, these ones, with complementary base pairs. Like for example, if this is guanine and here there is cytosine, so it will join guanine with cytosine. So it joins these free nucleotides to these free templates with exposed nitrogenous bases, and it joins them together in two new strands, right? So there's two DNA polymerase, one works for the upper strand, one works for the bottom strand, and it creates two new strands, making this original structure of DNA again, thus forming two identical DNA. As we've learned, that's what DNA replication does. So the last thing we need to learn is how that all the free nucleotides, the ones I just mentioned, the ones that are free without a strand, all those free nucleotides that get attached to both the templates have an extra two phosphates with them. Now we'll wonder why they have two phosphates with them. So while they're joining in a strand, right? So this is a strand, this has nitrogenous bases, and this has nitrogenous bases, and then there's free nucleotides, right? So all the free nucleotides that are getting attached to these templates have an extra 2-phosphate with them. So these have an extra 2-phosphate. Now these extra 2-phosphates, while joining into a strand, these get removed. Thus, when anything gets removed, it provides energy, and they provide energy for the complementary chain making, right? So they have 2-phosphates. I'll just do that. For example, these are 2-phosphates, 2-phosphates, 2-phosphates. These 2-phosphates get removed, which provides them with the energy, and they join with the template chain with complementary bases and making another chain. Thus this DNA is formed, a new DNA formed. So I'll just recap of what we've done today. So we've started off with a new chapter called Gene Control, and in this chapter the first heading that we have to go through, the first heading is DNA replication, where we learned that one parental DNA molecule produces two identical DNA molecules, which is called DNA replication, and thus two daughter cells get the exact same DNA as the parental DNA. We went on to the mechanism of how it's done. So first it starts off with DNA helicase enzyme. So if you go to the diagram right here, the diagram says, so the DNA helicase, which is this guy, it starts off and it starts off from here. It unzips and unwinds, exposing the two free templates with nitrogenous bases. Right? So this is what it basically does. So what it does is unzips the helical DNA structure, breaking the hydrogen bonds between complementary bases. What are the complementary bases? They're adenine, thymine, which have two hydrogen bonds, and guanine, cytosine, which have three hydrogen bonds. And after breaking these, it results in the formation of two free templates with exposed and free nitrogenous bases. So these are the two free templates going through with exposed and free nitrogenous bases. Then comes in the part of a DNA polymerase enzyme, which is this guy right here. What this guy does is that it takes these free nucleotides that I've circled a lot. For example, this guy. So whichever one is, for example, this is a free nucleotide which is not joined to any strand, and takes these free nucleotides and joins them with complementary base pairing. So this, what complementary base pairing is this thing right here. So it joins with them with complementary base pairing to the free templates, forming another chain, right? So bases to the both the templates through hydrogen bonds, and it forms hydrogen bonds between them, and join these through phosphodiester linkages, and complementary chains of both the templates are made. This forms two identical DNA, one's right here and one's right here, which will be formed. The last thing that we learned was that all the free nucleotides, these free nucleotides right here, these aren't free nucleotides, right? These are free nucleotides, the ones that aren't joined to any strand. So these free nucleotides have an extra 2-phosphate with them. So when they join, these 2 phosphates get removed, providing energy for complementary chain making, thus forming two identical DNA molecules.